Our ability to remain calm in the face of calamity is legendary. While we continue to wonder how adulterated petrol got into the system to cause panic, the federal government has vowed to investigate the circumstances surrounding the error. Meanwhile, the Nigerian National Petroleum Company, that's limited, that NNPC, said it has discovered those responsible for the purchase and the distribution of the adulterated petroleum products into the country by 4 cargos. The group managing director of NNPC, Mile Kyari, said he has since ordered the holding back of all the affected products in transit, but a lot of adulterated petrol appears to be in circulation already. Let's share some videos with you.
That's the simplest. This one don't mix with well, and the rest that's in the nut. That's be like Gororo.
Landia you go. Original mod. We go there.
Make it easy.
I have Tolu Ogujobi, the money man, joining us. Tolu, I don't know. What is happening?
It's sad. It's really sad, you know, to see something like this in 2022. We are still faced with this kind of product coming into our country. What amazes me most is the fact that this happened Monday, around Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and we didn't hear anything from the authorities. They kept mute until late on Tuesday when we saw a press release saying that and people were buying. People were in queues, you know, still buying this product. So it's sad. And what I was talking about earlier today is the fact that who is responsible for this? The NNPC is the sole importer of PMS into Nigeria as we speak. No other person imports petroleum products. I don't know. But today we've seen the NNPC GMD come out to list some companies like the Wandos, the MRSs of this world. I think like 4 or 5 of these companies were named as being bringing these products in. And I also know that the NNPC does direct purchase and direct supply, which is supplying crude oil to get PMS back. So if there are people that have done wrong, let them be called out the way these companies have been named and let us know what will happen to them. Cars have been damaged, engines have been damaged. Where do we start from?
Upon all the hardship we are facing in this country, you can just imagine what you have to put this into your generator, your new car, and you can just imagine the numbers of the cars that would have been, damaged through this thing. Because as I'm saying this thing, it's not just a matter of that is slightly different, but this is adulterated, or this is not PMS.
Well, I don't think adulterated is the word. If we say unwholesome quality, I think it takes care of what we are seeing. Because I find it difficult to believe that people can even pass what we are seeing of as petrol. This is just like, see how deep it is. It's just like coffee. It's just like coffee. So NNPC says is the only one, is the only, I mean, people say NNPC, they are the only ones who bring in products.
Now we know better.
I have never believed that. Because I know there will be one or two other people that they give preferential. We are in a country where there is no accountability.
Nobody will ask you.
And with
And
this,
the pressure out there is
this sector,
yes.
is the most difficult to believe. Whatever they say is the most difficult to believe in recent times. So if you are saying that you are the you wanted the world to believe that there was no subsidy, Kachiku spent time trying to fool himself that there was no subsidy. He changed the name. In fact, there was a time at the public at an event that he flared up where somebody used the word subsidy, all because they wanted to promote the notion that subsidy was gone. We all know better now. Now, you're saying that you are the only one importing. Now you are mentioning some companies. MRS have even said no, that we have no hand in this. It's only NNPC that imports. You know, so who we are trying to compromise even this investigation from the beginning. Whoever has imported, let's put it this way, whoever has imported, whether it is MRS or one company or another company, don't they have quality control structures at NNPC that will look at what has been brought into our country? You know, last night I found it difficult to sleep. You know what I was thinking? I said, if somebody imports unwholesome aviation fuel into our country and an aircraft takes it in, the aircraft will come down. And when it comes down, you know how many people could be killed? Some aircraft take up to 130 persons.
130.
No, I'm talking about Nigeria.
Okay.
Yes. Some aircraft take more than 100 people at once. All those ones, those the McDonald's, that type that Dana uses. They take a lot of people. So, is that how we will not know who brought in the fake aviation fuel, and then our people's lives will be lost?
To do from your investigation, I know, like Jide raised now. Is it that anything just comes and go?
Now, very interesting question. But according to this, to the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, they are no more a corporation because they're not a limited liability company, according to the PIA. They are saying that from Antwerp in Belgium, where this product came from, there was a check and certification. Then getting to Nigeria, same was done. But they are saying that in all of the lists of checks, there is no space, or there is no there has been no provision for checks for methanol. I don't understand that.
Absolute rubbish.
I don't understand that.
How about the color? Is this the way?
I don't understand that.
Is this the way premium spirit looks? Is the way it looks like?
Those words that do you understand? They're saying that no, we check.
Confuse us.
Yes, we have the A, B, C, D, E, and out of the A, B, C, D, E, there is no space. There is nowhere ethanol and methanol is included. So we have to now rejig and reinstitute our governance and regulatory regime for petroleum movement. That's what it means. So does it mean that those that do these checks and balances need to go to need to get another device, or they need to be schooled on how to check
what we do
methanol on this product that's been
every day?
So definitely, I believe maybe somebody compromised somewhere. Somebody
they
has
are just
done
lying to us
somewhere.
Lying to us.
Maybe to reduce the whatever of the product, which has led to this.
Jide, President Muhammadu Buhari, we said it's not somebody that we just take direct
doesn't
action
like saying heads roll
because
he's the minister of petroleum.
Countries, if this happens, yes, by now people would have been resigning.
No, look at how much we are even talking about. More than, I think, about 300 million or so.
Yeah,
that's a lot of money.
Yes. That's
a lot of money.
100 million.
That's a lot of money that we are talking about here.
Who's
Look,
bear that
even if
cost?
it is $10,000,
Yes.
if you come, I've seen people lose their jobs on something as little as $20,000 in Europe and America.
Yes.
We don't copy them. We would rather copy them on some of the bad things that they do. We don't copy
They
them
throw
on
some
good
people under the
governance.
bus and they will shoot some people. The president asked the minister of state for petroleum to issue a query.
Yes, to the head of I think it's the ND. That's you know because of PIA, all of these names have been changed.
Okay.
We don't have DPR again. We now have the Nigerian midstream and downstream regulatory department, I think regulatory agency. That's what they're called. The authorities.
But they are saying that PIA, the takeover of PIA has been
In the subsidy
postponed
aspect of it.
by 18 months.
It's the subsidy aspect of. You see, we are just in a confused environment.
No, they are saying that they will not implement the PIA.
Just the subsidy aspect. That's what they are saying, arguing again.
A lot of lawyers.
Look, before we go on,
Yes.
if you look at petrol
Yes.
and it's of good quality, do you have to be a petroleum engineer when you see something as brown as earth to not know that that is not good petrol? You need to now go and get a
special
device
testing
that
device.
determines whether there is methanol. I mean, what are we? Why are we doing this to ourselves?
To tell you.
If someone says this to you, you know this. The most sensible thing for Nigerians to do now is to first buy in their gallons, so that you can look at it.
Yes.
If someone says this to you in a gallon, will you accept? Look at the color.
at it.
Will you accept it?
And if
will
you
you
get
be?
into your tank,
So
the tank
on
of
your
car,
own, are you going to say you want to test for methanol?
In this.
Something that is bad enough. People can't be bamboozling us with grammar. I think if it's bad, it's bad.
It also brings us back to all those times where people sit at home and they get driver's license. People sit at home and they get passports brought to them at home. It's just like this product just got into town and found its way into the market.
They didn't check it. It's
The
as simple
product
as that.
Found its way into
They
the
didn't
market
check it
without checks.
Now they are probably
Yeah,
going to
everything
rig. They are going to rig
that's
the
what
so-called
it is.
the processes. They are going to rig
That's
the
what it is.
processes now.
committees,
Yeah,
visit
yeah.
Tolu, you and I know how things run in this
Yes.
industry.
Yes.
You are their friend. I am not
They'll
their
be very
friend.
angry with me.
Now the thing is, remember when they were lying to us about the cause of scarcity in 2017 and I think part of 2018, whereas they had issues of supply disequilibrium. They didn't admit it. They continued to lie that Nigerians were the ones doing smuggling, this and that, until Moman members went to the floor of the Senate. You remember?
Yes.
Because that day I said, take that portion.
Yes.
Until moment people went to the Senate to say, look, from this month to this month, we have seen a tapering down of the quantity of supply.
Yes.
At that point, the argument from Kachiko and his people stopped because they had been exposed. You don't sell the product yourself. You give this product to independent marketers and major marketers. Once those ones can say, look, even from the depot where we get this stuff, supply had gone down. There were occasions then when I told you go to some depots, go and check, and you got there and found that in those depots, big depots in Lagos, they didn't have supply. Yet they were lying to Nigerians that no, what happened was that people were smuggling.
Okay, I have Peter calling us from Jalingo, that's Taraba State. Thank you for joining us, Peter.
Yeah, good evening, journalist and girls.
Good evening.
Please quickly.
Please, you know, a lot of things has been happening for us here in Nigeria. Just imagine about this police issue. That a lot of arms and ammunition find their way missing out of police station, and up to now, there's past IG that left office, present IG, the people that this can happen in their tenure.
I get the point that I was making. That investigation conducted by the auditor showing that some weapons were missing from police armory. That's what he referred to, that there were some IGs. When these things happened, what did they do? They're supposed to bring them back to come and explain how the weapons got missing. More than 300 and something thousand weapons.
So ultimately, we don't have this history of, you know, filing class action and everything, that people that are affected already since Sunday, that I have to go and buy fuel and I have to go and do. How do I if somebody if somebody's engine has been affected now.
There was a meeting
redress.
yesterday between the same Nigerian Downstream Regulatory Authority and the MOMAN members and IPMAN members and all of the stakeholders in the industry, both NNPC and all of them. And they have come out to say that according to the MOMAN chairman that spoke to us, he says, he quoted his own company, I think Adova or something. He said they had about 136 vehicles and they have attended to all of them. I was asking a question. Where do you go back to? Do you go back to the filling station where you bought the fuel, or are you going back to the depot where they bought the fuel from? These are questions that they need to answer.
Who will even pay for this now?
So because so that it's about, according to the figures I saw, about 14 point something billion naira is what this loss. So it's no small money at all. So I think our checks, our balances, the entire sector. Like we're talking about the PIA, we're all waiting for this PIA, thinking that the PIA was all going to change the face of this sector. But look at where we find ourselves. Today we still don't know which is which. So it's worrisome. But I think that those involved in this, they should be named. Let's understand where the issues come from. Let's get to the root of this so that it will not happen again.
People will have sat down somewhere plotting how they will wriggle out of this. It's part of who we are or how we are. They will wriggle out. You will see that after a while, nothing will happen. Nigerians, our attention.
Tomorrow,
like Lagos, the queue already subsiding.
So people will not talk about it again. And in the future, somebody will bring something worse than this.
About how many billion?
About 14 point something.
They've set the nation back. That 14 billion, you know how many boreholes you can sink across our country. You know how many problems you can solve. No, we are wasteful people. So we will not, this thing will quietly to die down. You won't hear that anybody has been, because now it's party that we are doing. You won't hear that anybody has been punished. As we said before, the president doesn't like seeing heads roll. But it's still the best way to do things, because people, if they are convinced that they won't be punished, they will continue to do terrible things. Like somebody else will bring something worse than this, and we will be talking about methanol. We'll be arguing instead of going straight to go and punish the person.
Responsible NNPC or major marketers.
Major marketers will only distribute what
they were given
to them.
Of course, it's NNPC. There's no two ways about it.
So the best thing, I think, the slight solution, maybe in the long term or short to long term, is opening up the market. Letting players get into the market.
Even if they open up the market,
but we still need to monitor.
We still have to find a way to check.
Checks. Very important. Quality control. That's it. We do it here, even in the media world. So why shouldn't it be done?
Even we bring stories now. Even when people sit here, some people will say, Ajide does not let people talk. I'm not a fool. If someone comes here and is going to libel a person, who will take us to court? That person is a guest. When they take us to court, it is you and I that will be at the abroad. You think I will now allow him to run his mouth and say all kinds of things? I won't come in. I will come in. I won't. So that's the thing. It's part of the checks. Yes. They just find some people 5 million naira. Where are we going to get that in this difficult time?